a case of beer, some barbecue. There's no doubt that I'm better than you. With these looks and these moves, you can't blame me for being so rude. The land of the red, white, and blue will be my home till the day I die. I'm every lady's fantasy. I'm the American guy. The trailer park is where I'm from. You better believe I have about 27 guns. Baseball games, pickup trucks. I'm leagues above you
Check,
other
check,
dumb
testing 1, 2.
schmucks. I'm from where the women are hot and the Twinkies are deep fried. And every day I pledge allegiance to God and country. I'm the American guy.
It is Friday, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Filsinger Games Fan Podcast. This is episode number 118 for December 11th, 2020. The Filsinger Games Fan Podcast, the podcast that watches Groku on our Roku while playing Sudoku. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have you here. I did not make a graphic for this, but we now have the beginnings of a website. You can go to filsingergamesfan.com, and I think that's the address. I probably should have checked, but yeah, filsingergamesfan.com, and you will get right to the podcast. I'm going to build that website up as time permits, but there you go. As we get going, I want to give a special shout out to all our patron producers. These are the fine folks who have supported this show and the other shows from Saturday Morning Media. So I'm very excited to have all of them on board and very much appreciate all their support. So we've got you know what? There's not a ton of news, but there's some fun news to go over. So let's go over it. We'll also have the song of the song of the show and the question of the show, of course, our most popular event. But let's head on over to check out what we got in the show this week. We're going to start with Champions of the Galaxy. This is where the bulk of the news from this week was centered from. This is all the stuff for Kronos Battle Lines. A lot of information here for Kronos Battle Lines. Some big announcements, including one that happened not too long ago, and that is the announcement of Cool. Cool is a vigorous bomb squad expert. Yeah, Siri, thanks. Cool is a vigorous bomb squad expert from Eridanus, from the Eridanus army, who gets his name from his uncanny ability to stay cool under pressure in the most dangerous of situations. Can Cool defuse giants like Rack and Ruin on Kronos, the same way he diffuses explosives back on Eridanus? And what is Cool's sudden and mysterious connection to another Kronos newcomer? I don't know. I guess folks will find out when they order the Kronos Battle Line set. Can you be a bomb squad expert and be vigorous? I don't know. I would think if you want to remain cool, I don't know. You wouldn't want to be vigorous with a bomb, but maybe he's just that good. He can get in there and he can really diffuse things. So there you go. There is Cool is announced. And then the other announced, this is for Champions of the Galaxy Prime, COTG Prime. Proteus was announced. The rumors are true. Proteus has been busy training. The rumors are true. Proteus has been busy training in the year 3000 for a reunion with Actagon on Kronos. The Greek gods are back, and they are bringing a new tag finisher with them. Proteus drinks to that. Proteus is part of COTG Prime 2020 and is also part of the Kronos Battle Pack. Kronos Battle Line Bonus Pack. Both are available to order now and will ship in mid-December. So there you go. There's all the Champions of the Galaxy news. Moving on to the Independents. No big news this week. No new news, except we did get to see WILLIE Mack's artwork. I love this. I signed WILLIE Mack to the game, so it's very cool to see him getting an update. I will say that I was a little bit I was a little bit disappointed in the news release because the news release for Willie Mack was just very general. And, we all knew Willie Mack was coming because it was a poll and we all voted on it. But usually when a name is announced, there's a little bit of a write-up like, hey, this guy's on one of the, second biggest federations in the country. And I was just a little disappointed that Willie Mack didn't get that sort of a write-up on the Filsinger Games website because he's a nice guy and he deserves it. But Willie Mack coming to the game, if you are, and he is in Legends Prime, Indies Prime, not Legends Prime. I was looking ahead on my show notes here. So he is from Indies Prime. All the wrestlers for the Women of the Indies 2020 set have been announced, and we've talked about them on the previous weeks. And then I believe we have one more piece of artwork to see for the Indies Prime product for the final ones of the year. Moving on to Legends of Wrestling, and for Legends of Wrestling, there's no news. There's no announcements. There's no new names. And because it was said last week that Tom has put the clamp down on any more announcements or names or teasers of new names for the Legends of Wrestling expansion set. So for this set, we are missing one name in the actual set. We've got all the other names, and we've got the 3 manager cards for that are special edition cards, and then the 3 Promoter Prime names. So we're waiting on 4 names, 1 for the set, 3 for Promoter Prime, but we will get those when the sets arrive. Now, Todd had said on the boards that the sets did not ship this week. So fingers crossed that they ship next week because I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait to get this set. I'm super excited. And there you go. There's no other news. I have no other news to tell you about Legends of Wrestling other than if you haven't pre-ordered, I don't know what you're doing because this is one of the biggest sets that they've released in a super, super long time. And it's going to be super popular. All right. We are, as I said, there's not a ton of news. So this is not going to be a super long show, but we are now at the part of the show that is one of my favorites. It's the song of the show. And the song of the show is a song that is either by or about one of the wrestlers who is in Legends of Wrestling. And this is somebody who was announced. We talked about him on last week's show, and it should not go as a big surprise to you as to what song I'm going to be playing. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all I got to say is don't go messing with a country boy.
With a country boy, a country boy, a country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy, don't mess with a country boy. When I was a little bitty boy, baby, I cut my teeth on a big old tree. Mama filled my bottle from my moonshine still. My first meal was a bass she killed. A bass she killed, a bass she killed. My first meal was a bass she killed. Well, I grew and by the time I was 10, I was 6 feet tall and a man among men. Now I love my work and I love my play. I hate the fool that'll get in my way. Get in my way, get in my way. I hate the fool that'll get in my way. Don't go messing with a country boy, a country boy, a country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy, don't mess with a country boy. With a country boy, a country boy, a country boy. If you go messing with a country boy, this is what'll happen to you. You be biting off a hump too big to chew, big to chew, big to chew. You be biting off a hump too big to chew. That's what'll happen to you. Don't go messing with a country boy, country boy, a country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy. Don't mess with a country boy. Country boy, country boy. With a country boy.
And there you have Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy, Hillbilly Jim, of course. Now, in Rolling Stone magazine, here's what Hillbilly Jim had to say about this song. Everyone still knows my song, Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy. I recorded it in New York City at the Hit Factory. Joel Dorn was there with me, and we did part of it. Then we finished it up in Philadelphia. They didn't even give me a key to sing in because it was just a novelty song. We wanted something that would be signature. As soon as you heard that fiddle, you knew who it was. And this is what I think is the really cool thing about this. They even got Eric Weisberg, who did Dueling Banjos and Deliverance, to play on it. So they were calling out the heavy hitters when they were making this album. So there you go. There is Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy by Hillbilly Jim, from the very first wrestling album, which maybe I'll tell a story. Well, I'll tell a story the week of Christmas. I mean, Christmas is on a Friday. We're not going to have a show that day, but maybe next week I'll tell the story of the wrestling album and what it means to me for Christmas. All right, so last week we had the question of the show, and the question was, should Filsinger Games post a set's entire roster when pre-orders go live? Answer in the comments below. We had a ton of great questions, so let's go through them. Thomas says, I don't think Filsinger Games should post the entire roster at the time of pre-orders going live. I love the elements of surprise when they are announced. So there you go from Thomas. Joe M says, I like the current weekly announcements we get on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday instead of getting all the names at one time. That way, each name gets their time to get talked about on the message board. Totally agree. If all came out at once, then some names would be more or less forgotten about. I like getting a surprise card in the mail, but I wish the surprise card each time was a new name. Hints about who the surprise person is could be given to heighten the anticipation. Getting a surprise card in the mail for someone I cut that off, Joe. But I totally agree with what you're saying, Joe. And I think that would be fun. It's like you just know one of these cards is going to be a brand new card that you don't know who it is. Todd says, for your question of the week, I don't think what I think matters. I like to know so I can book my feds. I run 4 different eras of the same fed that's interesting, to kind of work around this issue. So right now I can pause my Pioneers era because I know we are getting the Bulldogs and I don't want to waste DBS time in my fed, Davey Boy Smith's time in my fed without being able to utilize his card. Hillbilly Jim fits in perfect, but Dom Maronco is more than likely in his last year for me. If I had played, so again, I cut this off. I thought I had... sorry, Todd. But so Todd would like to know all the names so he can figure out what's going on. Now, this is the response I love. Steve Williams says, I personally would prefer it if Filsinger Games only listed at most half the upcoming set before the release and let fans speculate, wonder, and ultimately be surprised by the rest of the roster once they open that big, wide envelope. I'm as much as a fan of the weekly announcement and final roster rundown as everyone, but I prefer the satisfaction and downright awe in some cases of opening the envelope to discover a wrestler I had no idea was signed, let alone in the set. I also get that some fans want to know in order to plan and set up their feds. With respect to that, one of this 40-plus year wrestling fans' favorite thing about pro wrestling is the surprise debut arrival of a star to a fed. Getting cards I didn't anticipate feels a lot like this and allows me to book on the fly in a good way with my fed. I love that response. Thank you to everybody who took the time to respond to last week's question of the show. Now, this week's question of the show has a bit of a backstory. On a recent episode of the Uncharted Territory podcast, Chad Olson mentioned that when the Red Talon and Duke of Destruction cards were released, he went back and played sort of non-continuity matches with them, meaning no title matches, no big main feud storylines, just like, kind of random matches that fit in that area, to add those 2 cards to his history. Now, this idea had never occurred to me, and it got me thinking about my Legends Fed, because I've really gotten into recently the Crockett Cup. I never saw it when it first happened, but I'm really kind of interested in it, and I love the idea of it, and I would love to do something in my Legends Fed like the Crockett Cup, like a big event for tag teams. And then I thought, well, I can start it in this game year like it just started, but then I was thinking, could I go back to my Fed's history and play out Crockett Cups? Because at those there's no championships that will be defended on those cards. It's just sort of a status thing to win the Crockett Cup. So I've been toying with the idea of going back. I'm only 4 years I'm in the 4th year of my Legends Fed. So going back and playing those would be a lot of fun. But that brings us to the question of the show. What are your thoughts on going back in your Fed's past and adding matches or cards, whole cards, to your Fed's history? Now, these matches and cards wouldn't have effects on titles and stuff like that. But I would love to know your thoughts. Now, there are no right or wrong answers in this. I would just love to hear your opinions. Leave your responses in the comments below. Well, as we wrap up here, I want to let you know about what else is going on in the channel. Recently, I played the Tournament of Legends number 7, 8, and 9 on here, so you can go watch those get played out. There were some fantastic matches and some interesting storylines and things like that. So if you want to check those out, you can. I don't know when I'm playing my next night. I have some things going on this weekend, but possibly this weekend, maybe Sunday night or something. But anyway, thank you also for checking it out if you want to check it out. Also, when Expansion 6 is released, there will be an overview for it pretty close to right away, because I even have the video file all set up. I just need the remaining artwork. I just need the finisher moves, and I will release it. So expect that whenever it is released, which will hopefully be next week. Finally, to wrap up here, I do want to say, if you are a promoter who is on my mailing list for the cards that I put out, the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood cards and the other cards that I put out, keep an eye on your mailboxes next week. I'm not sending out a card, but I did send a little something fun in the mail to sort of wrap up the year, and it was just something I wanted to do and put together, and it was a lot of fun to work on. If you are not on my mailing list, you can send me an email to grant@throwingtoasters.com, and I will send you out a copy of this. I have a few copies left. I'm not going to say what it is. It's not a card. It is not a card. So if you would like to see what that is, I would love to send you one. If you're not on the mailing list, grant@throwingtoasters.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. I think we are going to wrap up here. I just want to let you know that there is now an audio version of this podcast that is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Filsinger Games in your favorite audio store, and it should pop right up. If you have a topic you would like to cover, like me to talk about on the show, leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe or follow, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. And
Here we go now. A case of beer, some barbecue. There's no doubt that I'm better than you. With these looks and these moves, you can't blame me for being so rude.
well, how long was I muted? I have no idea how long I was muted. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is not affiliated in any way with Filsinger Games or its subsidiaries. It's purely for entertainment purposes. This episode is copyright 2020 Saturday Morning Media. All right, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you watching, whether you're watching this live on YouTube, whether you're watching it later time shifted on YouTube, or the audio podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are all incredible. Hey, have a great weekend. And I will talk to you next week right here on the Filsinger Game Fan Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Women are hot and the Twinkies are deep fried. And every day I pledge allegiance to God and country. I'm the